Hi everyone, so I'm going to do a quick Renee Recommends video, but I also wanted to do an update. I'm about this far through Brightly Woven by Alexandra Bracken, and I've wanted to read this book for ages, and it was part of my Christmas haul, and I'm getting through it slowly, even though I am enjoying it. It's a high fantasy book, and it's really sweet. I'm liking it lots, so yeah, I'm going to finish it soon, I would hope. And also yesterday I was naughty and went into a independent bookstore in the town nearby and got Whisper My Name by Jane Egland, which I'm quite looking forward to reading, historical novel. And I grabbed Poison Study because it was on a little bit cheap, and I do want to own it because I loved this book very much. So, yay! Now for my recommendations. Yes, these are two teen lit books that I read when I was about 14, I think. And I really enjoyed them, and they are Thunderwith and Chrysalis, I always call it Chrysalis, by Libby Hathorn. I say Hathorn. And she's an Australian author, and these are books that are actually set in a kind of bushland that is about maybe 30 minutes-ish away from me, so it's kind of my hometown, so that was sort of the appeal of reading them in the first place. And I think I got Thunderwith was given to me for Christmas, yeah, by my grandma. And then this is the sequel. And they concern a girl named Lara, and she goes to, her mother has died from a long battle with cancer, and she goes to live with her dad, who she's been quite estranged from for a number of years, and he has a new family, and he's a farmer, and he's living out in the bush, in suburban kind of Newcastle area, kind of. And yeah, so she goes to live with him after her mother dies and has to, you know, enroll in a new school and kind of get to connect with this family that she knows nothing about. And she feels very estranged from it at first. Then she's not welcomed, aside from her dad, he's quite tentative with how he relates to her, even though he's making an effort and he's trying. She's quite distanced from her new family, especially her stepmom, who is seemingly very cold and quite harsh to her, and yeah, that's a slow building thing, and she kind of has to work out a lot of issues with them. But she also makes a connection with a wild dog that she comes into contact with in the neighbouring bush around her dad's house, and she calls the dog Thunderwith. And through this, her kind of friendship with this dog, she sort of comes to deal with some emotional issues that she's been trying to ignore for a while, and it also kind of helps her in a strange way. She kind of comes out of her shell and becomes a little bit more socially adept, and kind of starts to make some friends in her high school and that sort of thing, and stuff happens, and it's really emotionally engaging and very moving in the end. And yeah, it sort of continued, even though stuff happens at the end of this book and you think it wouldn't really lend itself to a sequel. Lara's kind of journey sort of continues in this, and she especially is kind of her romantic and sexual relationships with some lads, and a friendship that she forms at high school, and sort of continuing the foundations that were laid for her interactions with family members and stuff. So it's really good, and I really connected with Lara as the protagonist. You really feel for her, and you understand her plight and what she's going through and what she's trying to kind of experiences, especially from her past, that she still has to kind of deal with. And you really just can understand the difficulty that she's going through in trying to connect with these new family members that she has to kind of engage with, and yeah, how tricky that would be. And yeah, especially her bond with this dog is really, really sweet. And I guess it might sound like a bit of an odd plot, but it was really moving, and I really enjoyed them. And probably of all the Australian teen fiction that I read, these were two books that really still stand out for me, and I think they were very well crafted, and I love that it was an environment that I'm quite used to, because it's kind of set in home, so that was a nice thing as well. So I do recommend them. I think that they're quite lovely books, and there was a film made out of these. out of the first book at least. I'm not sure what it was called, because it was not called Thunderwith. Anyway, I never saw the film, but I kind of didn't want to in a way, because the casting made me raise my eyebrow a little bit, but I might check it out one day. But there is a film. So yeah, I recommend these books. Thunderwith and Chrysalis by Libby Hathorn. Australian books.